Welcome back to another video. So this is a special episode that we want to talk about the behaviors of Kenyan drivers and people who are yearning to own cars. This video is important to the new drivers on our roads, and also whether you've been driving for the last 20 years, you need to pick something or two. These are the things that I've observed in the country that many drivers commit, and these things result into either accident or disturbance or just disorder in general. So, number one, quite a number of Kenyan drivers do something that is called tailgating. What is tailgating? Tailgating is just being too close to the car that is in front of you. This could be on a highway or just maybe ukiwa kwa jam or you just were driving. So the driving school that I went to, I was told that you must leave a distance that can be able to actually help you navigate in case you want to reverse or go in front. So the layman's way is that you should be able to see the number plate of the car in front of you. So hii maneno ya kusonga, kuna wengine wanakusongea sana, so they can hardly see the number plate and they're just next to the bumper. What is the danger of that? The danger is that if the person in front wants to reverse, or if you want to move in front, chances of you hitting on the person in front is very, very high. So please, let us observe that. Don't be too close. Now, another thing that I see the most is the use of indicators. Whenever you're driving your car, you have a responsibility as a driver to use your indicator, like the indicating lights accordingly. You have your switches, whether you're driving a German machine or just a Japanese car, you have to actually use your indicators accordingly. So there's this group of drivers. Sijui wanatokea wapi. There are 3 or 4 categories of people who misuse the indicators. There's number 1. There are people who don't indicate at all when they're about to take a turn. That is really bad because you're putting other drivers at a very bad place in terms of decision making. Another group of indicator users are these guys who they indicate at the point of turning. Kama anatake a turn on the right, within no minute asha indicate na turn. So you should be able to indicate as early as possible. I think it is just common sense so that other drivers who are using the road can actually make better decisions on how to drive on these roads. Then the last group are these people, they indicate far much longer before they take the turn. So if you're about to take a turn that is maybe 100 meters, then you start indicating from 100 kilometers, not 100 kilometers, but 1 kilometers. So that one really puts other people at a very bad point, like they're asking yourself, huyu jamaa anataka kuturn ama hataki kuturn. So for the use of indicators, don't indicate if you're not going to turn. Another thing with the indicator is that most of the drivers that I see on our roads nowadays, some of them, there's the use of hazard. When they're using the hazard is meant to be used when you want to alert other motorists on the road that maybe you're in danger or maybe you need help, you have an emergency. But now it's raining. There's this bad character that I see quite a number of people. Why would you have your hazards on when it's raining? So what signal are you sending? So I think that is a bad behavior that should be shunned, and in fact is not really recommended even by the car manufacturers. So use your hazard lights accordingly. Maybe if you have an emergency in the middle of the road, and that is when you can use your hazards, or you want to alert other drivers that you need help. Another behavior that I see here in Kenya is that there's something there's something that is called lane discipline. Please, lane discipline is very, very important. Always keep left unless you're overtaking. And this one brings me to another point. There are new drivers or people who have been driving for 20 years. There's that meme that somebody was caught and he was saying, I've been driving for 20 years. Whether you've been driving for 20 years, lane discipline is a must for a disciplined driver in Kenya. So with the lane discipline, we've said you keep left unless you're overtaking. Another thing is that with the lane discipline, there are these guys. If you are on a fast lane, stop doing snail speeds. Stop doing 20 km/h on a fast lane. Please, give other people the chance. Another thing is that they are just drivers who don't want to be overtaken. So there's this bad behavior when you're about to be overtaken, una accelerate kwenda wapi? Be a good driver. Once you own a car, you need to be disciplined. So when you're about to be overtaken, please stop accelerating so that you can race or you can compete with the person who really wants to overtake you. Hiyo ni tabia mbaya sana. And by the way, I don't know whether it is just synonymous with some drivers. I'll talk about Subaru drivers, Golf GTI drivers, Audi drivers. There's a group of people who can actually, if they realize you want to overtake them, they can actually pass their destination just to prove a point. Yani hata kama amefika kwake na amerealize unataka kumovertake, ako radhi atapita kwake, akukimbize, afike penye unaenda ndo arudi kwake, just to prove a point. I think there is no medal. We are not on a Formula 1, so there is no need for racing. If you want to race, go and find events that actually support your adrenaline. So you can go and practice, showcase the horsepower and your torque for your car somewhere else. But hii idea ya kurace when you are about to be overtaken na kushindana kwa barabara, your life matters. Another thing, a very bad behavior seen Kenyans who are driving cars nowadays is throwing litter out of the windows of the car when they are traveling. Of course, this one also depends on your upbringing and your values as a person. Are you a person who really values the environment? There are two dangers mostly with the throwing litter out of the car. One is that you can knock other people who are using the road. Another one is that the litter that you're throwing is very dangerous to the environment. So once you've consumed your stuff, your yogurt, umekunywa yogurt, unapigwa na AC, maisha London, acha kutupa vitu nje ya gari. It's a bad behavior. So we expect you to be a responsible citizen. So just consolidate your rubbish, your litter, and then from there you can go and dispose them when you arrive at your destination. Another bad behavior that I see mostly on our drivers who really cause a lot of disturbance or distraction. That's people who really change lanes at the roundabout. Why are you changing lanes at the roundabout? These are things that you are taught in driving school. Achana na hii tabia. And that one brings me to the next point, which is really causing a lot of trouble. There's this lot of drivers, Kenyans, we call them, wanataka tu kuingiza kichwa. Kuingiza kichwa tu. I don't know how I can put that in English. Let me just slip in the head. After you've slipped in the head, now you create an interlock. Now, I don't know, it's also coming from the aspect of overlapping. So you overlap, wewe una overlap, unanipita nikiwa hapa, nimesimama hapa kwa jam hapa kwa barabara. Then now unakuja unaomba unataka kuingiza kichwa tu. Now when kuingiza kichwa is not bad. There's a time when kuingiza kichwa is favorable for both the mwenye anaingiza na mwenye anapeana nafasi kuingiza. So what you need to understand is that do not necessarily kuingiza kichwa yako ya gari yako. You are causing an interlock, you are causing a lot of what we call disorder on the highway. So you need to be a disciplined driver. And again, kuna watu pia wapendi kupeana na nini chance. Unaona mtu alikuwa amekuovertake lakini huko mbele kuna gari. So kuna gari ingine inakuja, anakuomba umpatie nafasi aingie. Hiyo ndo una accelerate vizuri. So please be very very good on the road. Be considerate. Another thing that I see the most, a very bad behavior, is that these people who drive and without any warning lights, without putting the hazards on. Wakiona kitu wanataka kununua, wakitaka kununua kitunguu, they don't even consider parking aside of the road. Remember, you're not the one using the road. You're not the only one. So ukitaka kununua kitunguu, nyanya, umeona, kuna watu, there are people with them, they cannot pass without buying anything. Akiona hii anataka, akiona hii anataka. But as a driver, why would you park just on the way trying to buy a thing? Even through the hawkers, people who are... So you are causing delay. People are waiting for you. You unanunua kitu hapa. I think just find appropriate time and opportunity to buy your stuff. If you have to buy your stuff while driving your car, please park aside and buy your stuff. Leave other motorists to use the road. Another thing that is really causing a lot of accidents. There are these people who drive and they are chatting. Use of mobile phone. And I think that is where the traffic police should actually be keen. There are these guys. Ushai kuwa kwa highway lakini mtu anaendesha is chatting with the mobile phone. That's a very bad behavior, honestly. First, mobile phone has the ability to take your concentration as a driver. There's a way about it. You can actually receive and make your calls on your car depending on the model that you're driving. You can operate your mobile phone hands-free. So your concentration is on the road, but you can still speak. So stop using your mobile phones when you're chatting. I've ever seen this. Unashanga kwa na hiyo gari ya mbele mbona iendi, kumbe ana chat. Wengine wako kwa video call. So those are things that I've seen in Kenya. But again, there are quite a number. Like driving when you're drunk. You know, these things only sound normal because you've never been in an accident before. But 70% of the accidents that happen in Kenya today can be reduced if drivers exercised a lot of caution. I know some of the things that we are seeing here, we are saying in this channel here, you can really relate with them. So there is no need to drink and drive. And please, if you must drive, take your alcohol somewhere else and do not drive. Just sleep where you've taken the alcohol. Or go home and drink your alcohol at home. Do not drive when you're drunk. Another thing that I see on drivers, there are this kind of drivers who, how do I call this? We've talked about not able to give way. There's one I'm forgetting here. Ni tabia mbaya sana. Use of IB headlights. You know, whether you're driving on a highway or you just maybe wherever you're driving, where other road users are, the use of your headlights should be very, very considerate. You should be considerate about other people who are using the road, other users. Hii mambo ya kuweka full beam headlights when you're driving on a highway is not nice. And watu wa Prado, you are culprits. And imagine sometimes jamaa amemodify hizo lights, so ikikuja inakupiga, inakuchoma macho. Then the driver who is really, if you are coming like this, then I'm facing you. Those lights cannot allow me to. They will be dazzling. They will be making me not to able to judge like where I'm going. So the ability or the possibility of accident taking place is very high. So use your I-beam headlights when you are the one using the road or where there are no many people using this road. Maybe when njia yako ya kuenda nyumbani hakuna watu, then you can use your I-beam headlights. So I think the use of lights is something that you need to be very, very considerate about. Another thing that I'm forgetting here, kuna hawa wana drive na anatoanga mkono kwa dirisha. I don't know how I can put it. So you are driving and una drive na gari na nini, na you using your one hand to drive. This one unaweka hapa kwa center console, alafu you're just driving with your one hand. Okay, ni starehe, it's really comfortable, but that is not the way to go about it. Try and always, most of the times, have the wheels with your two hands. Why? Because it's easier to control the wheel with two hands as compared to one hand in case there's an emergency. Just in case something happens, you cannot control your car with one hand easily. So please, please, please try and have the culture of driving with two hands on the steering wheel. Another thing that I see mostly in Kenya is that watoi wanaekwa kwa side ya driver hapo kwa karibu na the co-driver seat. I think kids, and I believe kids should be looked at when they are in your car. Have their seats, the special seats, and belt them up. Hii mambo ya kuacha watoto wanaangalia, wanaruka kwa dirisha, wanasalimia watu wengine, is so dangerous for the kids. And again, talking about that, if maybe you have your partner, your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, there's this side, kuna hao ukibebwa, we call them passenger princess. If they are many, a princess is one person. If they are many, passenger princesses. I don't know if there's an English word like that. So the passenger princess and the passenger princess who are being carried on the co-driver's seat, please, hii tabia ya kuweka mguu yako kistarehe hapo juu ya dashboard, I think you are playing with fire. Why? Because in case of an accident or when the airbags are deployed, my friend, you will not survive. So punguza starehe kwa dashboard, If you are the driver and your passenger princess or the co-driver is having unnecessary pleasure by putting their legs on the dashboard, tell them no, please just belt up and sit down properly. If you want to maybe relax, you can relax when the car is stationary. I've really talked quite a number of things that I see that are really causing accidents and making it difficult for others to use the road. The last thing, maybe not the last, and if I've forgotten something, please just remind me in the comment section, because we are here to learn. And also, being a December holiday, we want to save more lives using these cars that we have. Then there's another one. Kuna watu wakiona wako kwa gari, lakini kazi yao tu, akiona mtu anajua, they don't even do anything. They just want to greet those people, wanafungua madirisha, hey, unaenda tao? Na pia, somebody's coming from the back. You just, yani, they have just stopped. They don't care about other drivers. They're still saying hi to their friends, somebody they know, who is going to town, who is coming from town. So I think that is so being insensitive. Kindly try and be a good driver. Another thing that I see with the drivers in Kenya today that we can actually change is unnecessary loud music and hooting. Kuna watu wanapiga honi tu. It's so unnecessary. Toot, 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 peep, peep, even when it is not really necessary. You see, if you are trained well, a horn should be used for communication. Yeah, if maybe you are in distress, there's how you should play with your horn. Or you are asking for a way, or you are greeting a fellow driver, there's how you should use your horn. But hii mambo ya peep, peep, peep every time just because of you have a modification on your horn and your horn is blowing up, that is indiscipline and that is so bad. You are causing a lot of confusion and noise pollution. The other thing is unnecessary loud music in your car. I know these culprits are young people like us. And when you have your loud music, please remember you're not the only one using the road. Or you are in a space where other drivers are. Then when you have your loud music, majority they would want to open the windows because they want the rest of the world to know that they just got a new system. Please, go be stationary somewhere, play your music the way you want it, but don't interfere. Because with the loud music, it also means that you as a driver, you are likely to make bad decisions because your attention is not 100% on the road. Another thing that I see, because I am almost done with this, because I'm just trying to think about what most drivers do in Kenya. There's this other one. I think I've forgotten the point, but I think those are some of the things that I've seen on our roads most people do. In case I've forgotten any, just write it in the comments so that people can get to watch and also learn, I think, from you. Let us stay safe on the road. I just want to wish you safe driving on the road and happy Christmas and hopefully New Year 2024 full of love and grace of God. Thank you. Bye.